Well, I'm just getting ready in the garage to start painting these doors, and I had an extra little roll of craft paper that I had out in the garage, and I've got to go back to the Home Depot, and I haven't gotten the paint yet or anything, so I'm just kind of setting this up, and I wanted to show you what I'm doing. I've got everything sanded now, everything cleaned, everything sanded, everything ready for these to be painted. But remember before I told you that, see, when I set them on the craft paper like this, it's hard to get that bottom edge with the paint roller. And I'm gonna do these with a mini roller, a 4-inch mini roller. I'm gonna paint this with the paint brush, okay? The little groove area. And then the rest of it, I'm gonna use a mini roller. And I don't wanna hit the bottom, because if you paint just like this with a mini roller or a paintbrush or anything like that, lots of times you're gonna get the door to stick to your craft paper. So the last time I did this, I cut some 2x4 blocks, and then I cut them about 6 inches long, then I split it in half with a chisel, and just used the little blocks, and I put 2 blocks. You know, one here, one there, and I set them up strategically along the wall, and then I set these on top of the blocks, but I had to make sure that the block didn't stick out beyond this edge so that I could run my paint roller through there. And this time I thought, hey, let's do something a little bit different. And I'm not sure if I told you what I was gonna do or not. These doors, I've already done it. See this? Look at that. See that right there? That's a screw, okay? I'm using 2.5-inch screws, coarse threaded, and I just put them on the bottom, and then that raises it up an inch. I got them about 1.75 inches, and so I can flip them around. I can just be real careful. Everything's going to be done in the garage, so I'm going to have craft paper across there, another piece over in here to set up all my doors. Okay, and so I'm just taking my drywall screws, and I'm just gonna do one here real quick. Just set this down here, lean it up against the wall, and oh, look at that! That's what not to do. Usually I don't do that because I'm standing right here. But anyways, I've got just the coarse threaded drywall screws. That's it. That's all I'm using. 2.5 inch. That way they'll stick out. And I'm just going down a couple inches. Try to keep it as straight as you can. You know, if it's slightly crooked, that's okay. And I'm just checking this with my tape measure. Those are fine. Okay. And then I just carefully lift it up and stack the door over here. Okay. And I've got the rest of these doors to do, but I just wanted to do a couple so that you can see that it's really pretty easy. And then I can leave these screws underneath the door for as long as I'm painting. I'm just going to screw that bottom one in just a little bit more. Okay. And so when I get done painting all the doors, then obviously that means I'm going to have to set the door down carefully. you know, lean it down to get the screws out. And once I get done painting all these doors, I'm gonna leave them out in the garage for 2 or 3 days, maybe even longer. See, I'm gonna be painting the whole interior of the condo, and normally I paint the ceilings and the walls, and I do everything inside, and then the last thing I do is bring the doors out here, or I'll stack the doors up in the garage, and the last thing I do is paint the doors. Well, this time I'm not doing that. We're in the middle of winter, and we've got a warm spell, and I thought, hey, I'll just paint the doors first before I do anything else, and so that's what I'm doing. I'm getting this all set up, and I'm gonna paint all these doors, and then they'll be out here in the garage, and I'll have them out here the whole time that I'm painting the ceilings, the walls, the baseboard, the door frames, the door casings, the window stools, all that kind of stuff, and that'll help these cure longer. The last thing you want to do is after you paint your doors, you don't want to paint your doors one day and let them dry that night and then put them up the next day, because this edge here, you might have some paint on there, and that paint might not be cured enough, and then you put the hinges on there, and then the hinges stick because the paint's still wet. Even though the outside, the top edge of the paint feels dry, it's not cured all the way. You know what I mean? Because there's going to be a little bit of paint that gets on here from the roller. You don't have to paint these, you know, but some paint's going to get on that. Some paint's going to get on this where your door latch is. And so that's another reason why, you know, if you're not crunched for time, I would recommend leaving the doors and letting them dry, letting them cure. Just because the top surface of the paint is dry doesn't mean the entire body of the interior of that paint is going to be dry, because it's going to be semi-gloss. Last thing you want is for your hinges to start sticking, because that's what somebody did before. The hinge stuck, and then when somebody whacked this off, not me, but the person who painted these doors, the last time maybe they changed the hinges to something else. See, they ripped off the top edge of the paint. And I sanded this, and when I paint it, it's going to look fine. Okay, some of the doors were like that. Okay, and the other thing is, you don't want to put your doorknobs on too soon. You put your doorknobs on too soon, and you tighten them up. Next time you want to take your doorknob off, say your doorknob gets broken or it gets worn and you want to change it out, now you take the screws out and you have a heck of a time trying to get the body of your doorknob off, because on the back side some of the paint is stuck to it, and you have to be real careful. You don't want to jerk it off. You got to kind of hit it with your putty knife in a couple different places to loosen it up to get it out. Same thing with your door latch, and same thing with your door strike plates. I've seen strike plates get on there, and then somebody tries to take off an old strike plate and just beat it off or kind of pull it off, and it rips the top edge of your paint off of your door jamb, or it actually rips the wood and it peels up some of the wood, and you're like, oops. Yeah, okay, yeah, now I remember why VideoJoe tells me not to do that. Okay, so I'm gonna be able to have these set up for many days, probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 days, however long it takes to paint everything inside. I'll leave these out here and they'll be curing, okay? And on these doors, the other thing on these doors, I've made a corporate decision, and lots of the edges were overlapping. Whoever painted this edge, some of it bulged over on the edge. And see, so I didn't want that. I wanted to sand that off. Now I'm right down to the raw wood, aren't I? And there's quite a few spots here and there along the door edges. You know, are down to the raw wood. So my question was to myself, did I just put 1 coat of semi-gloss on here? Normally that's what I would do, is just put 1 coat of semi-gloss, and usually it's the fake wood grained doors, the white. But this is smooth. These are all smooth panels. There's no ridges, ripply ridges in here like that fake wood grained material, okay? This is all smooth stuff. And I'm like, if I just put one coat of paint on here, maybe, like see there, look at that. I had to do a little, somebody did a whoopsie, and I had to file that off and sand it off and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, do I hit all these with kills first? And that's the other thing I could do, is hit all of these different areas with kills and then lightly sand it and then just put one coat of paint on it. And I don't know, I might still do that. I might still do that. And then that way I don't have to put two coats on, because I was thinking maybe I'll just put two coats on here. These doors are 15 years old, but they don't really need two coats per se, you know. But you know, I get little things on here, and if I just put kills on there, I don't know if I have to sand every little spot that I put kills on, or if I just say, forget about it. I'm just going to go ahead and put two coats of paint on here. So I'm kind of wondering about that right now, and I'll figure it out. See, like these edges, when I do these with the paintbrush, boom, 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 I don't need two coats on that stuff, right? Okay, and maybe I just put one nice coat of paint on there, and then I do the whole door with the roller. It doesn't really take a whole long time to do the mini roller on here, believe it or not. I even do the mini roller on the side. When I do that, I do the edge, and then I do this flat edge, okay? Then I go back and hit this just very carefully to make sure that there's no paint from here, this edge coming over this edge, or this edge coming over on this edge, you know what I mean? You'll know if you've ever painted anything. You don't want to see that ridge, and lots of these doors had that ridge, and I sanded them all off because I don't want to see those, you know? I'm trying to do the best job I can. And so I might do two coats on here and be done with it. Okay, so you make the decision. The last job I did, they were white, fake wood grain doors with the rough top edge that made it look like rough wood. You know what I mean? And I just put one coat on everything, and I was done with it. You know, on these different areas, this is the other thing I could do. I could, when I do the first coat, okay, the first edge, I set all the doors up, and I do all of the doors first, okay, on one edge. Then I let them dry, then I flip them around and do the other side. Well, when I do the first one, maybe I just hit the edges, and wherever I see that it needs two coats, okay, and I can hit those and start over here and hit them, boom, 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 right? And then maybe let it dry just a little bit, not a whole long time, but then I can go back and start over here where I first started and just put one coat on the doors and not have to worry about two coats. But I want to get all these rough edges, raw edges, I want to get some paint on there. You know, it's really a good thing to get paint on there first. And who knows, maybe after I get them all set up, I can look at them all and I can hit them with a little mini roller, you know, and just hit all the raw stuff and do that with my Similagloss, or I can do it with Kills. Kills is a primer material, okay? So I can do either way and then let them dry and then do one full coat over the entire thing when I get all done, you know. Maybe I can hit all these edges first, you know, after I set them up, before I paint this, because this is going to take a while in itself, right? So I can do these edges first, wherever it looks like I need them, with just the regular paint, with whatever paint I'm going to do here. Okay, I'm going to get a white, a bright white, and then that paint, as I'm doing these edges, or before I do any of these cutouts, I do all the marks and stuff. Like see this edge, I only have to do a little bit there, right down there, and a little bit down there. Okay, so I do each door face do all that first, boom, 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 as I come around, right? Then I go back and start at the beginning again, and then do all of these, because that's going to take a few hours, you know, just to do that. And then I can flip the doors around and then do the same thing on the other side. I think I'll do that. See, I just got a game plan going, and I'm going to do one full coat on this, and I'm not going to do the 2 full coats, and I'm not going to use any kills. I'm just going to use the regular semi-gloss white, bright white. I'm going to get the brightest white that I can at the Home Depot, and I'm going to ask somebody, okay, which one off the shelf is the brightest white without putting any more pigment in it, and that way they can shake it up and they don't have to special mix it with anything else, and I can guess with how many gallons of paint to get, and whatever paint, if I have a gallon and a half left, obviously I'll save the half gallon for paint touch up and all that kind of stuff, but the other gallon I can take back because it was right off the shelf, and they didn't have to put a color. If they put a color in there, if you get a 5-gallon bucket of something, you think, oh, I'll just get a 5, and you only use 2 gallons. Now you just paid for 3 gallons, and you're going to be storing 3 gallons. But whereas you could have gotten 3 single gallons, you see what I'm saying? And then you've got 1 extra one. But if they've already mixed up the paint for a special color, you're not going to be able to take that back. Okay, so measure your walls properly, measure all your material, and then when you get to the paint store, tell them what you're doing, and they'll help you come up with how much paint you're going to need for your project. Okay, all right. So I think I've talked enough for now, and I've got to get these doors set up. And then I'll make myself a little material list. And I don't have to get all the paint. I don't have to get the rest of the paint for the ceilings, the walls, all that kind of stuff. If I want to just run to the store and get a couple gallons of the white, bright white semi-gloss paint, I could just go there and get that so that I can come back. Because see, my main project for today is I want to get all these doors painted, and if I only have to do 1 coat, now's the time to do it. And so I don't want to stay at the store too long, okay, because it's during the day. Think strategically. You know, I should have picked up the paint yesterday on my way home, you know, but as it is, I've got to run to the store and get my paint so that I can get going with my project. Now, when you start your project, you're going to have to figure out how much are you going to do until you stop. Are you going to keep going until you're done, do the roller after all this, or are you going to do just these edges and the edges of the door, and then wait until tomorrow and then see if you've got any little goobers or whatever, and you can kind of fix that before you get into the roller. It just kind of depends. Now, see, for me, it's about 3:30 right now, almost 4 o'clock, and it's like, do I want to keep doing that over there and then get into the paint roller? Once I get into the paint roller, I'm going to have to stay until I get all done. And I'm thinking about doing that, and it'll probably be, I don't know, 6 o'clock, 6:30 when I get done, which tells me I've got to fix these little things now. If those were too dry, let's say, or still wet, whatever, and they're skinned over, you've got to decide, do you want to fix those now, or do you want to do that tomorrow? Okay, so think about your project and do it.